Okay, we're continuing. This is part 2 for Parashat Mishpatim, Netivot Shalom. And what we learned so far, we stopped here, I think, is that the Torah from last week, Parsha with Yitro, suddenly it was stopping about the Aseret Dibrot, and then it continuing, and then the Mishpatim and everything, and like Rashi is, and then the other Mefarshim asking, like, why the Torah start with one topic, jump to a different topic, continue with the other topic, like what's going on? And they do a comparison between the Aseret Dibrot, the Ten Commandments, and the rest of the rules and Mishpatim and all these laws about nothing to do with the religion, right? Like it's not like something that you should do or not to do that is directly related to Judaism, but all the laws between people, who is obligated to pay compensation, all of these mundane things of day-to-day life. These are the rules, and the Rashi said that it's coming to teach us that their level of gedusha, they're all the same. The Ten Commandments, which everybody knows, the Ten Commandments, and also with the other rules and laws that Hashem gave us. Um, and then he says that a judge that is conducting his judgment, the trial according to the Torah law, then his verdict are the true of the truth. And he become a partner with Hashem because Hashem name or Hashem stamp is true. And when he is following the Torah laws and the rule, then he become partner with Hashem in like the creation. And this is what it's. And then also the Zohar, we finished here, that the Zohar is saying that about the Mishpatim, that this is the reason or the secret of reincarnations. If somebody owes somebody money, then he come back here to this world to finish the to you say to balance the account. He owe money. Right? And he says also, and we continue, וזהו, and these are the אלה המשפטים, כמובן, Rashi, as Rashi explained, the vav of ואלה המשפטים, right? The vav, it's we call it in Hebrew in the grammatic level, we call it vav החיבור. It's coming to attach something, to connect things. To connect what? He says, what the first one from Sinai, אף אלו מסיני. The same way that the Ten Commandments are higher than higher, because at the time when Hashem were saying the Ten Commandments, the seven heavens were open, the seven skies. Everybody saw there is nobody else but Hashem. There is no other force, no gods, nothing. Hashem is the only one. So he said the same way that this Ten Commandment came from Hashem's, not the metaphorically came from Hashem. Hashem was speaking metaphorically, right? So all the Mishpatim, all the laws and the rule are also something which is higher than higher, right? Kol sheken, right, in Baram Levush, and he bring it from another book. He says the thing that the Ten Commandments came with thunders and shofar and lightning, right, and all of these decoration. So the Mishpatim, also the other rules, came with lightning and thunders. And therefore, the parasha of the Mishpatim is actually written in the middle of the Kabbalat Torah. We started it with Yitro, now Mishpatim, and then continue with the Kabbalat Torah. Why? Because every judge that have a verdict which is following the Torah law, and it became the true of the truth. It is if like he became a partner with Hashem in Maseh Bereshit, in the creation. And all of it teaching us that the significant or the higher level of a Din Torah, which is happening according to Hashem's law. What type of Gedusha, right? There is a Gedusha in the Din Torah, in the verdict. And he said, three judges, right, or three people that sitting together as judges, then they have the Shechina. The Shechina, one of the attributes of Hashem, is dwelling between them. So beside the fact that all the laws and the rules are secrets of the Torah, like the Ten Commandments, also they have that level of the Shechina, that is, the Shechina is with them. שדברך אמת וקיים לעד, right? The Hashem words exist forever. And actually, and it's very difficult to understand, there is no room for mistakes. And when the Dayanim, the judges, are bringing the Shechina to be with them, then there is no mistakes. Even if that trial itself is not aimed or is not relevant to the action or to the deeds that happened. For example, somebody, I don't know, he's been sued by his neighbor about something, and the judge actually verdict is about something else. Like, what happened here? Is the judge stupid? Chas v'chalila. If there are judges and again they're following the Torah law, then even if the verdict look like it's not relevant to the sin or to whatever dispute he has, that's the truth. And he's saying, and he brings from the Ramban. This is again, I said, it's very difficult to understand. The edim zomemim, right? So what is edim zomemim? Is let's say that somebody wants to get married to a woman. He loves her very much. She's beautiful, she's rich, whatever. The only problem is that she's already married to somebody. So what he can do? So he pay money to people. 2 people, I think it's enough, witnesses, and they go in front of the Beit Din and they say, Mr. X, we saw him doing something wrong, which the punishment for that is execution. And they're lying. They got money, they're lying. So they go and they're testifying in the court. And let's say that the judges were investigating and everything, and they are respectable people or whatever, and they convince the judge, and they're giving the testimonial, and nobody can deny it. And we are executing the poor husband. Now, let's say that after we executed him, somebody come and said, I saw that person paying money to these 2 witnesses, and actually the poor guy that you executed, he was with me, and I have proof. We were in a different city when they were saying that it happened. Now, the punish for these 2 witnesses is that whatever they were supposed to do to that guy will happen to them. But the problem now here is that if that poor guy already been executed, is dead, then we don't punish these two guys. They go home free. If, let's say, they were testifying and then somebody come and said, hey, these 2 liars, these are 2 crooks. The guy was with me, they were paid money and everything, then the Beit Din will execute both of them. But we already executed the poor husband, so they walk free, right? If he already dead, he's dead, so we don't kill them. Why? It's look like to our eyes that this is such unfair. It's not fair. So one thing is that we shouldn't be worried. These 2 witnesses, the crook people, yes, maybe here it's look like they were not punished, but they will be punished in the world to come, and that's the worst. Second, because the judge verdict was to execute the guy, if he was innocent, yeah, for sure he was innocent in the conspiracy, right, where they were trying to apply to him. But maybe he had some other issues that he was supposed to be executed. So that's why, if he already dead, then it means that from heaven, from Shamayim, they allow it to happen. They allow it to happen. That's it. So there is no point now to punish the 2 crooks, right? Because it says, if the verdict was happening, the execution already happened, certainly it's a true, because Shelo Yiten Hashem, right? Shoftim, sorry. Right, that Hashem will not let these righteous judges to spill an innocent blood, because the judgment is for Hashem. B'kerev Elokim mishpat. So the Kerev Elokim, it's like, and among the judges, Hashem will be judge or judging, and that's like a great mila. It's an advantage in the judges of Israel, and that's a promise that whatever the verdict, Hashem is agreeing with that. And he also wrote in a parsha, right? So we have a slave, and the slave is about to be sent free. In the meantime, he was working for a few years with for the master, and he gave him a wife, but just a temporary wife. But then he said, I love my wife, I love my kids, I want to stay, I want to be slave for forever. Then we take him to the door post, right? So he said, because Elokim is the shofet, he is the judge. In the doorpost we have the mezuzah, right? And according to that, we can say clearly what our sages are saying on the pasuk, "Ele moadei Hashem asher tikru otam b'moatam." These are like the period of time of Hashem that you should read them on their time, right? אתם אפילו שוגגין, אתם אפילו מזידים, אפילו מוטעין, ועל פי טעותם נקבע ראש חודש וחומר זה השם. So even if you're making a mistake, right? Mistake in what? Mistake in determining when is Rosh Chodesh. If you made a mistake, even if you did it on purpose, and you determine that Rosh Chodesh is on Sunday, that's it. Then the whole days will be following that mistake, and then you will have the Chag, the holiday. Why? They determine it by mistake. But again, it's the same thing. If Hashem allowed it to happen, then it means that this is how it's supposed to be, because the Shekhinah was with them, with the Beddin. The Beddin were determining based on witnesses or whatever. If this is what they decided, this is what they decided.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you going back to the slave with the against the doorpost with the through his ear, what's the significance of that? What is that supposed to mean?
It means like on the pshat, it means like the ear that heard Hashem saying that you're no longer slaves to human, you are my slave, and suddenly that person wants to be a slave to a human, then we're piercing his right ear. And the right ear that is significant. Right ear is also, I think, symbolizing Yaakov, and Yaakov is also an issue with hearing or something. But that's the thing. On the simple pshat, it's like you have no shame. You're supposed to be slave to Hashem, not slave to human. So let's make a pierce in your ear. By the way, I learned it very interesting. There was a minhag, a Moroccan minhag, that men that didn't have children, they put an earring on their ear, and they had an earring, right, piercing their right ear or whatever ear they were doing, and it's look weird. But actually, I learned more, and the Rav that was teaching that, he said that actually the men used to wear earrings. Right, and if you look at in Aaron, when he asked Bnei Israel to remove their jewelries, right, for the gold to do the golden calf, right? So it's you look at the psukim, you see that the men were actually removing the earrings from their ears, but then they stopped to wear it, obviously. Right? Yeah, very interesting. And we think that today, the young generation, they put earrings, piercing, they invented it, right? Like they're originals. No, right? So anyway, so we said, so if the Beddin determined the Rosh Chodesh by mistake, that's it. We remain with that. Because to our eyes, it's looked like a mistake. But that's the halacha, because Hashem allowed it to happen. The Shekhinah was with them, with the Beddin, and this is what it. And again, they followed the Torah law, but they made a mistake, or somebody deceived them, because Hashem wanted the Chagim to be on these days. In Yanzeh, so this matter that also the Mishpatim from Sinai, this is a fundamental principle in the Torah, that all the halachot, all the Mishpatim, all the rule, right, the laws is a true Torah. It's alive and a true Torah, because Hashem words is exist forever, and it's true. And the same way, Magid Varav LeYaakov, Kach Chukav Mishpatav L'Yisrael, the same way that he was saying his word to Yaakov, which is a lower level, he said his laws and everything to Israel, which is a higher spiritual level, like the Ten Commandments. So this is like something like interesting. It's a question. If the Ten Commandments supposedly higher level than the laws, then it's look here like he was saying his 10 commandments to Yaakov, which is a lower level, and all the laws and everything which is supposed to be like lower level to Israel, which is a higher level. But again, this is just to show us that they're all the same. The laws and the 10 commandments are all the same. Don't think that keeping only the 10 commandments make you a righteous person. No, you have to follow everything else. Everything else. Right? And he says, okay, so here there is a chidush. He says, the same way the 10 commandments are part or the essence of the Torah, the same way is the laws and the rule are the essence of the Torah. And the mufle and the wonder in that is that the Torah gave the strength, the ability, or the mandate that in all of these day-to-day activities and this mundane life that you have to, I don't know, work, make money, treat your neighbors, whatever, bumping cars in the parking lot, all of these things. So the same way that we're dealing with the gashmiut and everything, right, in a negotiating in work, so the same way that the judge has the verdict according to the Torah, so also our life become part of the Torah because we're following the Torah law. If we chas v'chalila, doing something, we need to take responsibility according to the Torah. So Anochi Hashem Elokecha, it's not a chidush shu Torah. That's for sure that Hashem is our God and that's the Torah. But here the chidush that also the day-to-day activity become the Torah. As I said, right, today when somebody a Rav writing a psak, you're going to the Rav and you ask him, look, I have this situation, blah blah blah. What should I do? And he's writing the answer. It's become a Torah, part of the Torah. So the Torah never stops. The Torah is always rolling and rolling, and it's dynamic. So we can add here more. The biur ha'inyan in the explanation. What's the purpose of creating the world? Right, that Hashem wanted to do good to the creation, but also he wanted to have a room, a place here in this lower level world. In the Parshiot of Sefer Shemot, all of the means and the action and the deeds were told by Hashem to us because that will bring us to that situation that Hashem will be with us. Then he can dwell here. So at the beginning, in Yetziat Mitzrayim, right? We were chosen to be the chosen nation, Bnei Bechor Israel, that we will be like carrying the flag, right? The pioneers. And that's the purpose to build Hashem here a place that he can dwell among us, right? So, and the beginning and the continuing from Yetziat Mitzrayim, choosing us as the nation, it's continuing into the receiving the Torah, that Hashem bring the Torah from spiritual upper world to this world. And by doing that, then we are actually fulfilling the purpose of Hashem could dwell here in this world, because the Torah and the 10 Commandments came down to this world. And in this world, we should act according to the Torah. We should behave according to the 10 Commandments, to the laws and the Mishpatim and everything. By doing that, Hashem will have a place to dwell here in the world of lie, right? In Hebrew, it's called Olam. What is Olam? E'alem. That's something that is hidden. This world hides many things from us, usually the true. And the Giddush of the Mishpatim is not because it's a true, according to our sechel, according to our wisdom, right? Oh yeah, it makes sense. Not because of that. It's because Hashem told us. Okay, and added value to it that it makes sense. This is fine, but that's not the reason. It's because Hashem was telling us this is what we need to do. And the Dinei Torah, the laws of the Torah, are not like the other laws that people actually sit together and they go to a consensus and they agree about something and that's it. Tomorrow they can agree on something else. No, Hashem gave us the laws and they're not going to change because they are the word of Hashem and they exist forever. And this is when, in the time of 3 judges sitting together, then they have the Shechina dwelling. It's not only so they will not make a mistake in their judgment, but also that their verdict will be the word of Hashem, and not only because of their wisdom, but because Hashem and the Shechina is with them. So that's why they have a true verdict according to Hashem, and that's why they become a partner with Hashem to the creation, because he's fulfilling Hashem will, that Hashem wants us to behave according to the Torah and the law, and then Hashem will be able to dwell here in this world, which is not the same, right? When a dayan, when a judge actually is judging according to his wisdom, according to his assumption, his feelings, whatever, that goes against the Torah, right? That's why many times, the Rabbanim, when you say, I don't feel like this is how it should be, they say, no, nothing to do with how you feel. The halacha is halacha, cut and dry. no feelings involved, right? So said if he did it, even if his like verdict was according to the Torah, what was supposed to be, that still it's not right, because the law of the Torah that he should judge only because this is what Hashem told him, and these are the laws from Hashem, and therefore the Torah wrote this parsha of the Mishpatim in the middle of receiving the Torah, receiving the Ten Commandments, because it's a continuance of the Ten Commandments, because they're all the same, right? As you said, Magid Varav Le'Yakov, Aseret HaDibrot, and Kodesh Kodeshim. They're the holy of the holiness. So the same way the laws and the rule, each one of them is a Kodesh Kodeshim. Here we're just repeating, and therefore the parasha was written in the Torah in the middle of, because it's actually one thing, because their main thing is to keep and to fulfill the purpose of Hashem have a desire to dwell here in this world, according to the laws that they are the word of Hashem. And when we're having that, it's like the nekudat emet, it's like the point of truth, the truth in the middle of this world of lies, then we're actually fulfilling Hashem will. And from now on, from Parashat Truma until the end of Sefer Shemot, the Torah is dealing with most of it, with all the mitzvot of how to build the Mishkan and the sizes and the measure, etc., because that's the main thing. Because Hashem wants to dwell here in this world, B'ezrat Hashem. And according to that, we should say the sages in Masechet Shabbat, when we say, right, tomorrow B'ezrat Hashem will say in the Kiddush, right, anyone that say Vayachulu Hashamayim Va'aretz, right, we're saying that in the Kiddush, he become a partner. You don't have to be a judge. Just by saying the testimonial, right? He become a partner. Tomorrow we're going to be partners to Hashem. And it seems to be like it's difficult to understand. What does it mean, this partnership? How we become a partner to Hashem by just saying Vayachulu Hashamayim Va'aretz. Because the one that said that Vayachulu is like is testifying that Hashem created the world. Hashem is unique. Hashem is one, and not in mathematical. Hashem is the only one in the upper world, in the lower world, right? And when he's saying this testimonial, he's like helping the cause that Hashem wanted to dwell in this world. So we become partner with Hashem in the creation, because we're fulfilling Hashem's will, right? And that's why, and here we were finishing, that's why, right, it says, Ma'amar Katuv, it says, Koach Ma'asav, like Hashem, like the potential of his strength by his doing, by what he's saying to his nation, right? Koach Ma'asav v'gid le'amo, latet lehem lachad goyim, that Hashem gave us the inheritance, which is the land of Israel. That's like started from the Maaseh Bereshit. They are all connected. And the purpose of the creation is to give us the Nachlat Goyim, right? Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, was other nation dwelling over there before we came. But Hashem wanted us to be there. He gave it to them, then he took it from them and gave it to us. But with one condition, we have to fulfill Hashem's will. And by doing that, by acting and behaving and living our life according to the Torah law and the rules and everything, then Hashem will be able to dwell among us. And then we will be able to have, the land of Israel to ourselves. And not chas v'chalila, like what happened in the two Batei Mikdashot, that we went to exile. We didn't fulfill Hashem's will. So if that's the case, what's the point for us to remain in Eretz Israel? So Hashem sent us away. Actually, it's not Hashem, it's like the land itself vomited us. So that's the whole purpose of a Jew, to come down here to this world. The Torah came down to this world because the Torah actually should remain in heaven, because it's a spiritual thing. But that's the whole point, as you said in the beginning today. Hashem is testing us. So this is the real place of testing. This is the testing ground. And the tools that Hashem gave us is the Torah, the law, the Ten Commandments, and everything, and they're all holy. So we shouldn't think for a second then we have big mitzvot, small mitzvot. No, all the mitzvot are equal, and the Kedusha level is equal, and we have to keep and fulfill all of them. Koyach.
Excellent, beautiful.
Thank you.